Hello, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Twist. My call sign is Twisted, and I'm from the DCS VFA-211. And I'm here today to show you how to start up and shut down properly the F-18C Hornet. This is gonna be this is gonna be off the tops and has been certified by a real F-18 Hornet and Super Hornet driver. So without further ado, let's go ahead and get into it. Before we even start applying ground power into the jet, we're going to go ahead, we have to do a couple things. First off, we're going to go and do ground crew and put wheel checks on.
Chief, place the wheel chocks. Copy. Wheel chocks are now in place.
Alright, so now as you can see, the wheel chocks are in place. Next, we're going to go ahead and get our knee board up and ready. I'm just going to go to our general knee board that we give on each mission briefing. But usually in a mission briefing, you would set up each individual knee board, including all checklists and everything like that. So now we've arrived at our knee board, and we'll put it away for right now. So now we're going to go ahead, before we even start putting ground power onto it, we're going to do some crucial checks. First off, we're going to make sure the gear is down, master arm is to safe, dispenser is off, and radar is off. Now that all these have been completed, we're going to go ahead and start putting battery power to the jet. So we're going to go back first.
3,300
Make sure that looks good.
feet.
And before I do this, I'm actually going to go ahead and turn this down because it's going to get annoying if we keep doing it. And then forward. Those two look good. So I'm going to go ahead and start the engine fire A test.
Engine fire left. Engine fire left. Engine fire right. Engine fire right. APU fire. APU fire. Bleed air left. Bleed air left. Bleed air right. Bleed air right.
Alright, so that's the completion of the engine of the Fire A checklist of Fire A test. Now we're going to go and turn the battery to off and wait 5 seconds for the tapes to roll back. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. We're going to put battery power on and we're going to go engine fire test B.
Engine fire left. Engine fire left. Engine fire right. Engine fire right. APU fire. APU fire. Bleed air left. Bleed air left. Bleed air right. Bleed air right.
And I do apologize for the jitteriness. It is my freaking track IR being a little glitchy over there. So now we're going to go ahead and signal to the PC or plane captain that we're ready to go and to start up the APU. So now we're just going to wait for the green light. And we have the green light. And now we're going to signal to the PC that we're going to crank the right engine. So we're going to crank the right engine. So we're going to wait for 25% RPM before we start putting in fuel. There's 25. And we're going to wait for light off. After light off, temps should not go over 750.
Roll left. Roll left. Flight controls. Flight controls.
And after the first engine start, you will get a GPIWS and Bijan Betty call out. So now we're going to go ahead and turn all the DDIs. Now, one thing about this, if you are simulating an older Hornet, I think lot 15 or older, it could be lot 15, lot 30. Don't question me on that. Don't count me on that. But you will only turn on the left DDI. In any other Hornets newer, or if you're simulating Super Hornets, kind of like how we are, you're going to turn on all the DDIs and HUD and everything like that. So I'm going to be simulating a more modern Hornet, so I'm going to go DDI left, DDI right, MCPD, turn on, there you go, and HUD. There we go. Now that we have power to everything, we're going to go ahead and go to the bottom right panel. So now we're going to go ahead and rotate our bleed air, so now we can start getting air into the cockpit. As you can see, it starts getting a little louder, and we're starting to get air. And now we're going to go ahead and close the canopy. And now I can start finally hearing. Just kidding. Alright, so now we're going to start looking at our DDIs. So in the left DDI, we're going to make sure there's no cautions for twos, no rights, and then we're going to go ahead and rack stack at those cautions. If there is twos and rights, I recommend going ahead and shut down or talking to your flight lead, coordinating with them to figure the problem out. It might just be a maintenance problem, and you might have to shut down, get into another jet, and then start up and go to the mission. So now we're going to go ahead and go to the FCS page on the left DDI, and on the right DDI, we're going to go ahead and push and stop the bit page. And now we're going to go ahead and do a lights test. Alright, the caution light panel, the red out, hook, APU fire, engine fire, APU, gear. That's a good lights test. Alright, so now we're going to go ahead and signal to the PC that we're going to go ahead and do the left engine. So same as last time, put fuel in at 25, and we're going to go ahead and start cranking left. And now we're going to go ahead, 25%, alt and home, and now we're going to wait for the fuel light off. And remember, we don't want to get above 750 on the temps. And there we go. We've reached idle. And now we're going to go ahead and check our left DDI. We're going to check them for any cautions for 1 or else. And we're going to go ahead and rack and stack our cautions by pushing the back and stack caution a couple times. Now we're going to go ahead and do our normal left to right checks. So, excuse me, just give me 1 second. Alright. Our left to right checks. So we're going to go ahead and turn O-box on. We're going to go bypass to field. Radar to Albright. INS to ground, and we're going to go ahead and go into the MCP and click stored heading. We're going to go ahead and turn the HUD tape to WB. Going to go ahead and turn our K58 to channel C, to mode C. And now we're going to go ahead and give the plane captain a thumbs up that we're ready to go ahead and start doing the 4-down. To do the FCS check, and then we're going to do the 4-down. So now we're going to go ahead and put the flaps to half, and then he's going to tell it that the PC is going to tell us to do the flaps to full. But before we can put the flaps to full, we're going to go ahead and put the reset, push the reset button. And now we're going to go ahead and again rack and stack our cautions. We're going to go ahead and now we're going to go ahead and do what's called the FCS bit test. FCS is flight control systems, and bit stands for built-in test. So we're going to test the flight control systems. So now we're going to go ahead and click into it. And now we're going to go ahead, and here is the FCS bit switch. You're going to click and hold this. You can push Y also. Push Y, and we're going to click that. Before we can do that, we're going to go ahead and before we do that, if you've noticed, the APU shut off. The APU shuts off at about 2 minutes when both engines are on. So that just give you more information on that. And now we're going to go ahead, put flaps to auto, and we're going to go ahead and do our FCS test. So push Y, FCS, and it's in test. And now we've heard the deep, 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 and that's just letting you know that the FCS has completed. And now we're going to go ahead and put our flaps, keep our flaps up, and we're going to go into our own checks. So the PC is going to go ahead and tell us to go forward, aft, left, and right on the stick. And now we're going to go ahead and set our takeoff trim. And now we're going to go ahead and tell the, we're going to go ahead and disengage the nose wheel steering because we don't want to start turning it. And now we're going to go ahead and do our left and right checks. So left and right. Now we're going to go ahead and turn the nose wheel steering switch back on. And now we're going to go ahead and give the PC the signal for the 4-down. So it's going to be tail hook, pitot heat on, and we're going to go out on the speed brake, and then we're going to extend the probe. And then if we are going out to the boat, which we aren't doing today since we're doing this simple start and shutdown procedure, we're going to go ahead, we're going to put that down and extend the launch bar. But we're not extending the launch bar, and we're not going out to the fleet. We're not going out to the boat. But this gives us time to do whatever you need to do. So this is the bread and butter of the startup checklist. We're going to set our radios, get everything ready to go for the flight.
5, 4.
So now I'm going to switch to ground, and I'm going to switch to my aux frequency, which for today is 6. Then I'm going to go do my UFC checklist. I'm going to go click on, and click 33, and it's all right here if you're wondering, IFF. 5,200. So if you're wondering where I'm getting that number from, it's the 5 plus my boards. So then for mode 3, it is 6031, and there we go. So 6 is the squadron identification squawk code. 0 is always 0. 3 is the third iteration of this flight, and it's 1. So I'm the lead of this flight. We're gonna go ahead and click the standard uncage the standard ADI, backup ADI. And we're going to go ahead and start putting it. We're going to go ahead and put this to bit. Turn on the RWR, put that to bit. And look at the RWR screen. Cool. Alright, so now we're going to go ahead and go into the data page. And I also like to put HSI here just so I can have it up. Alright, so now we're going to go ahead and put the coordinates in. So we're going to go into, make sure it's in your waypoint sequence 1, and we're going to go UFC sequence. You shouldn't have to use the UFC button because that's actually putting waypoints in. And our missions, we have everything inputted in, simulating a data cartridge. So now we're going to set and start deleting waypoints. It's a kind of tedious task, but it doesn't take that long usually in a flight. Oh, I get rid of the 9. Alright, so now that we've completed that, we're going to go ahead and put our waypoint sequence in. So we're going to start with the 6, 41, and 47. So there we go, waypoint sequence 2. And we're going to go 41 through 48. Alright, so now we've completed all the waypoints, we're going to go ahead and go down to waypoint 1, because that is our bullseye. There we go, waypoint 1 is selected as our bullseye, and you can look at your position from the bullseye on your radar page. Now we're gonna go ahead and go do our a second left to right check just to make sure everything's on. Yep, everything has been checked. That's all check. Yep. Okay, so everything's good. See, this is why you want to do the second check. You want to put your radar out on and put it to 200, which is standard for shore-based operations. And as you can see, we're okay on the qual, and we're gonna go ahead and push that to IFF. So now, once we've done that, we're gonna go ahead and do our UFC, the second part of our UFC. So we're gonna go ahead and put our data link on, and we're gonna go ahead and go mids A, which is 8 for today, in mids B here, which is 39. So now we have radios set up, and now we're gonna set the TAC in. So for me as a flight lead, it's 39 X-ray. It's my yardstick. Gotta turn that on, and now I'm ready to go. Now I'm basically ready to go for the mission. Now Now this time to get started up and all that kind of stuff will depend on your loadout, what you're doing, what's the mission, all that kind of stuff. If you're going to A-18C 3, which is one of our one of the northern MOAs at Anderson, it's going to be a lot more waypoints because it's a bigger range. But something like the A-18C 2, you're not going to have a lot of waypoints. So now we're going to go ahead and um, so now we're going to go ahead and put the 4 up, the 4 down up. So we're going to go hook, pitot heat. We're going to put speed brakes in. Gotta wait, look at that. Yep, there we go. Speed brakes are in. And probe is retracted. Alright, so ladies and gentlemen, this concludes the startup part of the video. Oh, and then once you're done with the bit, you need to put that in. So this concludes the startup part of the video. One other thing I would like to mention is Joker. Completely forgot about that. So 6.5 is for today. We're gonna put our Joker in. Okay, so this concludes the startup part of the video. So now what we're going to go ahead and do is do the shutdown part of the video. So you should always have, when you are here at this position, when you are on the runway in the air, you should have your master arm, you should have your, your seat armed, but when you're taxiing, you should have it safed. So this is pretty much how I would come back from a mission. So the first thing I would do is I would chalk up, just like I've already done. And then I would go ahead and start going through the left to the right of the systems. So we're gonna go O-box off. We're gonna look nothing over here. We're gonna go that to carrier, that all the way down. And then we're gonna go ahead and go. We're gonna do the radios. Actually, we're gonna put the radios.
200 megahertz.
Radios down. We're gonna go 0, 0, and we're gonna zero these out. Zero these out. We're gonna push 1. We're gonna push it out. We're gonna push that off. Data link goes off. Actually, data link goes on. I forgot that you cannot edit it without it. So we're gonna go 1, 2, 7. We're gonna go 1, 2, 7. Sometimes it doesn't work. There we go. Alright, so now the UFC shutdown checklist has been complete. We're going to push that to on. Go down. And there we go. So now we're going to go ahead and push data. 1 is going to is going to be off. And now we're just going to zero everything out. We're going to push 6, delete, 41, delete, and 47, delete. "41, delete, 42, and we're not going to put those 1 through 14 waypoints in just because it's kind of unrealistic. That's just how DCS does it, so you have to do it. So now we're going to go ahead and put this back to bit and this to nothing. That was already UFC. We're going to go ahead and turn this to off, turn that off, turn the radar out off, turn that off, turn that goes off. And now we're going to go ahead and we're going to trim the plane back. Push trim forward. And there we go. We've trimmed the plane out. Clear that master caution. And now we're going to go now we're going to go ahead and turn the screens off. So left, MCPD, HUD, right. So now we have the plane in a kind of shutdown state. Okay, I get it. So yeah, so we're gonna go left to right again just to make sure we didn't forget anything. Make sure that is in the neutral position if you use rudder trim. And now we're gonna go ahead and shut the plane down. So we're gonna start with the left engine. So we're gonna go Alt left, and we're gonna wait for it to shut down to around 11%. Alright, so now we're gonna go Shift End and turn the right engine off. And now we're gonna open the canopy. There we go. And I would usually turn it up just to test it, and then I'll turn it back down. And the brake should be like this. So when you park up, make sure the brake is on. So that's the shutdown plane in its shutdown state. So now we're gonna put battery power and turn it off. There you go. F-18 shut down. And now we're gonna go ahead and reload all the weapons. Reload it into this state. So this is what we call FRS-5. In VFA-211 we have standard loadouts. If you're using this in any other squadron, you might not have it, but I recommend doing standard loadouts. They're a great thing. It changed briefing, how it is. It's so easier. Anyways, I digress. We're gonna go ahead and go into the F10 menu, and we don't require our members to sit here and wait for it to refuel, but I do require to just push OK. And then we're gonna go ahead and go step out of the plane, and how we step out of the plane in the server. We're gonna go to exit, and we're gonna go to select roles, and we're gonna go back to spectator, and then we're gonna click exit. So thank you everybody for watching. I hope you had I hope a lot of your questions were answered. It's a pretty complex startup and shutdown procedure. but if you do it over and over again, you'll get really good at it, and it'll just be second nature to you. If you'll give me a couple minutes of your time, I would like to talk about our squadron. I am the CEO of VFA2 of DCS's VFA-211, and we strive for the most realistic DCS experience here in DCS. We do joint operations with of F-16 squadron called the 457th and a couple other squadrons. We would love to hear from you. Links in the description to our Discord. We would love to hear from you. If you love realistic startups, shutdowns, realistic tactics training and procedures, realistic air-to-air, air-ground, come to us, and I'll get you started. So thank you everybody for watching. If you like it, if you want to subscribe, you can do that. And I hope y'all have a wonderful day, and I'll see you next time when I do taxi and takeoff procedures.